And we're live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Plough Lane. We're 9 Years TV, bringing you all the build-up as we host Shrewsbury Town this afternoon. I am Nick Draper. I'm joined on my left to Matt Harwood, and to my right, Alex Woodyard's very kindly given up a bit of his time on match day to talk us through the situation with himself, how he views the form of the team at the moment. Loads of more stuff to get you through until 3 o'clock for kick-off. But Alex, we'll start with you. Just want to talk us through the situation with yourself then and the injury. You picked it up at Burton, is that right?
Yeah, well, I've probably been playing with it for what the scan suggests that it's more of an acute injury, so it's gradually got worse over time. I didn't feel nothing go at Burton. I was struggling leading into the game with a bit of tightness, and probably, I brought myself off, if you like, at Burton, because I thought, the last 10-12 minutes of games that's when you get more fatigued. So it was just more of a case of not going into them last stages and actually pulling something. But I had the scan on Monday, and to be fair, it wasn't good. But me clinically, I feel good. Yeah. So sometimes you just got to treat the player rather than the scan. So hopefully it won't be too long.
Okay. Any sort of rough estimates?
Probably around about 3 weeks, I'd say.
Okay.
We've had a week already, so maybe another 3 weeks or so. But it's annoying because I don't feel any pain whatsoever.
No.
It's just the scan. The scan itself says I've done more damage than I actually feel.
Than you actually feel, yeah. I mean, how do you feel? In yourself, you feel fine, everything like that. And so, does your day-to-day sort of routine change now, or are you still getting down to the training ground every day?
Yeah, it's actually, when you're injured, you actually work harder and spend more time at the training ground. So yeah, I've got a rehab program. Started that already. Everything's going well. So yeah, fingers crossed. I feel really good. It's one of those. If we didn't have the scan, I'll probably be still playing. But then obviously you do really run the risk of doing some serious damage. So it's about letting my hamstring heal, and like I said, I feel really good. So.
And you're guessing that's quite frustrating for you as a watcher. So I'm guessing today you'll be sat. I don't know. Will you be down on the bench, or will you be taking a seat in the stand?
Well, I watched Tuesday's game in the stand, and I'll do it again. But I'm going to try and sit a little bit lower now, because I sat right high, and the game's really false. Yeah, really.
Get that sort of bird's eye view impression.
Yeah, it seems really slow, but when you actually go to the level, it's a lot quicker. So
you feel that intensity when you're sort of more in amongst it.
Yeah, definitely. So I won't be watching it from the sky again.
Drop down to the south stand, get some chance going behind the goal. Tuesday night, then we lost to Ipswich. What were your overall thoughts on the performance?
First half, defensively, I think they didn't. They got some great attacking players. I didn't feel like they asked many questions of us. I thought we were solid, without posing much attacking threat on them. I thought our defensive shape was very good. Then second half, I think we come out and was really on the front foot. Had good possession in their final third. A few box entries, and obviously had a great chance with Ben. The guy's done unbelievable, wasn't he, on the line? He's got something on it, but we looked a threat, and then we get done a couple of times.
They switched play really quickly, didn't they, to the 2 goals? It's hard to sort of defend against that.
Yeah, it was obviously. Every goal's avoidable. It's easy to look at it on a couple of days after and go through it. Everyone's the best when they're watching it.
Of course, yes. With hindsight.
Everyone can coach, but listen. Obviously, I'm sure the boys on the training pitch the last couple of days have been, working hard. Obviously, today Shrewsbury will ask different questions, so it's hard really. It's every game. You're trying to prepare for different opponents.
Because at this point, we would like to have shown. We will put highlights up from Ipswich. We'd have been able to see them in previous occasions, but we don't have our big screen today. It's gone missing. I won't make any analogies with any former players. But yeah, so we would have just talked through your goals and the highlights there, but we're playing for you at home now, going back on Tuesday night 2-0 defeat at Ipswich, at home to Ipswich.
Well, good morning, good evening, friends. Whoever are joining us around the Womble Global Footballing Emporium. This is Mike T welcoming you along to the broadcast via the world-famous, redoubtable and indefatigable Radio WDN, brought to you in conjunction with your club media package, the I Follow Dons. And the 2021-22 Odyssey of Sky Bet League One action continues this evening here at the Cherry Red Record Stadium at Plough Lane. Ipswich Town, the visitors. The Dons, of course, fresh from having sold Ollie Palmer to Wrexham yesterday. The deal completed late yesterday evening. Wish him all the very best. The Dons, though, this evening have to pick up the pieces of what is a rather large and significant gap left in our resources, for the time being at least, and up to the remaining Dons to compensate for Ollie Palmer's absence and put in a decent shift here this evening against an Ipswich Town side up in 9th place, but still some 8 points away from the playoffs, but who have always proved to be a historically tough obstacle for Wimbledon to try and overcome.
Still really settling down into this game. Little so far what we've seen in terms of goal-mouth action, but that could change here with Caden Jackson, who fires it in towards the front post, and it was allowed to roll all the way in front of goal. To put a run together, Wilkinson threads it forwards. Luca. Wilkinson's made his move into the middle. Comes in now, it's towards the back post, and Baconson couldn't quite get over the top of it. He's pleading for a penalty. He feels that he was being pulled there, and he may well have a point as well. Rudoni. How much do Wimbledon want to push the try and get 3 points here tonight, because we didn't see much from them in the opening 45. Now they are surging forwards. Really positive run here, and it must be a free kick. It is just the yellow card. So around the free kick, it's a corner whipped in, and there's a bit of a tangle, and it somehow stays out. Still the threat remains, it's fired in once more, another opportunity here. And there's Ipswich bodies in the way. Ben Hennigan may well not know how he didn't score there. A triple opportunity for Wimbledon to get themselves in front. Hennigan, but he slipped as he made contact, still got a boot on the ball. And it was Chislett. He tried to create an angle to shoot. That hit a defender. And then Hennigan's second effort also having the same outcome. There's a Luca. Touch from him. A chance to come forwards for Ipswich, who haven't got going in the final third too much in this second half, but Wes Burns is away. It's still Wes Burns! Work away back level in this contest. This is an Ipswich side which are just showing signs of building some momentum as we move towards the final stages of the season. Wimbledon free kick. Look towards the back post by Hartigan. And a chance to strike for McCormick. And yet again, there is a raft of Ipswich bodies in the way. They are protecting their goal well. Switch of play is a dangerous one. It's away from Aluko. There's been a good response by Wimbledon, and it may get better yet. The ball clipped through, and it's good keeping by Walton. Really good keeping. He got out quickly. Look how quick he was out there to deny Terry Ablade, whose eyes would have lit up as he saw that ball played through. Marcel, great trickery from him, great persistence from him, and he sends in the cross. And Wimbledon certainly feel like there was something there for them. Marcel wins it back, the strike comes in, and it curls just wide. And they've got the wind in their sails, Wimbledon. They just can't find a way beyond Christian Walton. And in the middle of midfield, really good work by George Marsh. Lovely turn. by Osso. And he's scampering forwards here, good close control. He's still going, Osso, but it's straight out of Alton. Corley Bond, great switch of play to Burns. It looks like he's only got one intention here, Burns. He's got one already tonight, and now he has two. That should do it for Ipswich Town. Wes Burns strikes again. A profitable journey for them. Deep into stoppage time, and King Vincent Young is in trouble here. He's already been booked tonight. And now he's given his marching orders. Second yellow card, 5 minutes into stoppage time.
All right. And we are back. Hope you enjoyed that director's cut of the defeat to Ipswich on Tuesday. If you just joined us, I'm Nick Draper. I'm joined to my right by Alex Woodyard and to my left Matt Howard. And Matt, you had some observations for Alex on
I just wanted
Tuesday.
to get Alex's view, what you thought how George Marsh and Macca did in sort of the middle of your sort of territory.
Yeah.
You thought they did. I thought Macca normally further forward.
Yeah.
I thought he was very good. He seems to, from when he started, I don't know whether we've been learning off of you and the tenacity and the tackling and stuff like that, but he seems to just be absolutely awesome at hunting the ball down and getting it off people.
Yeah, I thought they both played very well. Macca's a good player, so whether he's 10 yards deeper, I don't think that really will affect him. Can play high, can play as in a two. I thought they both done very well. I thought on the night, I personally thought that they won the midfield battle, if you like. I mean, they might have had a little bit more possession, but didn't really play through us essentially much. So I thought they done very well, and hopefully the same again today.
Exciting news broke yesterday. New signing in for today. Lee Brown joined us. We expect in a left back position. You were just telling us you actually did cross paths with Lee a few years ago in non-league days.
Yeah, played with. I think Lee was at Bristol Rovers at the time. I can't remember. I think I might have been at Braintree. We both played in the England C team, the non-league side, and he's a good lad.
We've seen some clips of him before.
He's
a good character to have.
Yeah, on and off the pitch, he'd be quality. Funny boy. Fit in straight away. Like you'd think he's been here for a couple of years. Good player. He had a very good spell at Bristol Rovers. Played a lot of games, and also with Portsmouth as well. Played very well. So just I think it's a great coup for the club, and I think he'd be a good addition to the squad. Another senior player, which I think we need. And I think good signing, very good signing.
Yeah, we were very excited, and obviously he was only down here a week ago with Portsmouth, and I think he played well that day. I think I was captain that night for them, quite possibly.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet, obviously, but we're thinking it might be in the starting lineup today. Shrewsbury Town. What are your thoughts? Do you view today as a must-win game for us?
No, I don't think it's a must-win game, but I think every game is an important game. Whether you're fighting for promotion, fighting bottom half of the table or a mid-table team, I think every game you go into, you should go in with the mentality of it is a must-win.
Yeah.
In terms of how you're saying it, a must-win with.
Thinking about points.
Yeah.
On the table.
Of course, it's a home game. I think you look at Shrewsbury games like that. No disrespect to them, but I think you look at them games and sort of target, but it's like anything. If you're not at the top of your game, any team in this league can win or lose if they're not at the top of their game, like you've seen with us this year when teams like Oxford have come down to us. Yeah. We were right at it. They were off it. Played at their place. We were terrible, and they were quality. So that's football. So need to make sure we're right at it today to get the 3 points.
Yeah, and I think over the past few games, we've had a little bit of I think we're winless in 8 now, but performances, I think Oxford aside perhaps, intensity's been good, doing all the right things. I don't think we're very far away at all.
It's building.
Yeah.
Listen, the Oxford game was circumstances didn't help.
No, of course.
With the layoff and things like that. Of course, I think the intensity's been there, 1,000,000%. It's just sometimes need a bit of lady luck, like Ben's goal. Opportunity probably goes in, 9 times out of 10, but I just need something to drop. But I suggest the stats of the game suggest that we were more likely to score.
Yeah.
We had a lot higher like goal and XG like. I think
Expected goals,
Robbo talk about that.
Yeah, a few times.
I think it's just got to stay confident. It's important that we don't lose belief, and the performances are there. Results will come.
Alex, we know you've got to get off, but thank you very much for coming to chat to us. We're going to leave the viewers now. We've just mentioned there a player that is playing well at the moment. We think Luke McCormick. We caught up with him at the training ground this week. It was an interview full of bluster, not just talking about George Jones.
Sorry, I have to stick it away. Oh!
As soon as that alarm goes off.
Whoa!
Hello and welcome to 90s TV. We're delighted today to be joined by Luke McCormick. Luke, thank you for joining us.
No problem, mate.
So Luke, obviously not the result we wanted on Tuesday night against Ipswich. What's the mood like in the camp at the moment going into the game against Shrewsbury?
Yeah, it wasn't the result we wanted, but like always we took the positives. We've had a meeting yesterday, we've had an in-depth meeting today, so we've all lined out the issues and the details, including the goals. And hopefully we can build on that. The mood's good, training was good today, so hopefully we can take that to the game tomorrow.
You mentioned it there, we're speaking after we've just gone through the final session ahead of the match against Shrewsbury. What normally happens on Friday training, or the day of training just before a game? What's that session normally like?
The session's normally, so we'll get our meetings done sort of after we've had some breakfast, and then we do our prep and mobility, strappings etc. if needed. Then we get ourselves down to Woodies, we warm up, we activate, we go through some walkthroughs, some tactical detail, and then the session flows from there really. It's a lot of get on the ball and just work on some sort of patterns and stuff that we'll try and bring out in the game tomorrow. But yeah, it was a really good viable session. Yeah.
So one of the things that was a bit different on Tuesday was for you personally, was a bit deeper. You were sitting playing alongside Marshy in midfield. What was that like for you, playing in a slightly different role to what we've seen from you this year? Is it a role you've played before? Yeah,
I've played there a lot in my career. I played there pretty much the whole of last year, so it's a role I'm comfortable in, and obviously playing next to Marshy gives you that sort of defensive stability, so I can kick on a little bit from midfield and make deeper runs and that sort of stuff. So it's not too much different for me, but obviously the Dons fans have seen me operate in a box or in the 4-2-3-1 as a 10, so maybe it's something that the Dons fans haven't seen from me, but hopefully I can impress them.
Is it something that you sort of see going forward as that's your best position, or do you still prefer yourself and see yourself as a 10?
Listen, I try not to nail myself down. I like to think I can play sort of anywhere across the midfield. Obviously I've had a couple of stints sort of coming in off the line as well, so I don't like to pinpoint exactly where I play, but I know what my attributes are, and I can bring energy in that position and my work rate, and sort of show maybe a little bit more of a bite in midfield and put some tackles in and really get around the ball.
So now the next set of questions is just getting to know you a bit more, help introduce you more to the Dons fans.
Yeah.
So on days when we have training sessions, are you the type of person who has a line, or are you up as soon as that alarm goes off? That's actually the perfect time to do that.
A few moments later.
This next section is all about getting to know you and introducing you as a person a bit more to those Dons fans. So when it comes to training days, when that alarm goes off, are you someone who gets out of bed and up and out after the first alarm, or are you normally one who would snooze 3 or 4 times?
No, I do set a lot of alarms just because I live so far away and I have a little bit of OCD, so that's something I've always done, really, set like 4 or 5 alarms. But normally I'm up on the first one, obviously get changed, have some breakfast and stuff, and I've got to sort the dog out as well so the missus can have a lie. So yeah, I'm kind of one of those who's up earlier.
You mentioned it there, but you come from a long way away, but do you car share in, or is it just you coming from that way?
No one's down that neck of the woods, so it's just me, myself and I, but obviously it's quite nice in the morning just to take some time for yourself, and I think mornings are key to the day, so it's quite important to have a little bit of time to myself, and then obviously that hour or so driving gives me that.
So now one of the questions for which my co-host Stuart Deakins would kill me if I didn't answer. Do you have a favourite motorway service station, and if so, why?
Oh God. I don't know. I don't. I only really know the A3. To be honest, the rest of the rest of it, I have to stick it to ways. Oh.
One eternity later.
So now a question my co-host Stuart Deakins would kill me if I didn't ask. Do you have a favourite motorway service station, and if so, why?
No, not really. Unless I need a wee or a bottle of water or something, I don't really try and stop at them too much because they're obviously overpriced, and I like to just get home. So and really, to be honest with you, I only really know the A3. The rest I'd have to stick into Waze or into the sat nav or whatever. So no, not really.
So when you're on that long drive in, do you listen to podcasts or is it a bit more music?
Big TalkSport fan, so I stick to TalkSport on. I like a podcast as well. I keep up to date. So yeah, and it just depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes, like on a Friday today, I had some feel-good music on, a bit of Oasis. So that put me in a good mood.
One of the things that Robbo spoke about early on in this season was the loudspeakers in the change room, and the fact that every player was allowed to pick a song to go on there. What was your selection for that?
I had a Liam Gallagher song and an Oasis song.
Now, one of the things I think, it might not be as relevant to you because of obviously the drive time, but a lot of footballers have downtime, they're watching a lot of films, a lot on Netflix. What was the last film you watched, or the last thing you watched on Netflix?
Last thing I watched on Netflix was a series called Cheer. It was like a cheerleading type behind the scenes thing, but it was quite good actually. My missus was watching it, I just jumped in on it a bit later, but I picked some good sort of mentality bits out of it, so yeah, it was alright.
Now, one of the question that varies a lot from player to player. Do you watch football on TV? Is it something you enjoy doing, or do you have to just switch off away from it?
I am one that likes to switch off, especially on my days off, but I'll always have some sort of football. I'll always be watching it. I try not to play it on the Xbox and all that, but I do keep up to date with football, yeah, and I do love watching it.
Do you have a favourite pundit or a least favourite pundit you care to mention?
I like Ali McCoist at the moment. I think Ali McCoist is doing some good stuff. Like I say, I'm a big fan of TalkSport, so he's on there. And obviously, like your standard, your Jamies, Roy Keane, Gary Neville, they're all good.
So we end every interview with 9 quick-fire questions. Some of these get quite strange, I'm afraid.
Okay.
But just give it either or, so just first thing that comes into your head. Did Neil Armstrong actually set foot on the moon, yes or no?
Yes.
The cranberries or cranberry sauce?
Oh, neither.
Why?
Girls allowed or Little Mix?
Girls allowed.
Bye, yes or no?
Sound of the underground.
So Bezos volunteered to do the one next week.
Yeah.
So bye, yes or no?
No.
Joe Rogan or Neil Young?
Joe Rogan.
Should Pain Au Chocolat be renamed to make it less awkward to order and Costa?
No, it's a bit flamboyant, I like it.
Luke Perry or Luke Gross?
Not a clue.
Should you have a basic grasp of Latin to be able to work in a Currys?
Ooh. No.
And when making a cup of tea, does the tea bag go in first or the milk?
Oh, the tea bag. It's got to brew for a couple of minutes.
That is the correct answer. Luke McCormick, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Shrewsbury Town. Before we Matt, let's start with you. We spoke with Alex Woodyard just a moment ago about potentially Lee Brown getting a start. Are we expecting him to come straight in?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think his experience at the moment is needed and vital. I think it's potentially if we play a 4, it makes sense for him to come straight into the side. My thing is up front. I want to see who's up front. I want to see what the kind of. I want to try and gauge from the line-up what the shape is, and then see what we can do.
You hoping for 2 up top?
A little bit, but I think I'm hoping in vain. But I will always be hopeful for 2 up top.
Right. George, what are your views on the centre midfield partnership? we had Luke McCormick, who's just interviewed. He's potentially could partner George Marsh like they did on Tuesday night, or is Anthony Hartigan going to, having got minutes on Tuesday, is he going to come back into the starting line?
Well, I think it might be a bit soon for Ant to come back into the deep end, so I wouldn't be surprised if it is Macca and George Marsh. So they played so well together on Tuesday. I don't think any of us would be upset if that partnership continues.
Mm-hmm. And Rob, Will Nightingale, are we expecting him to come back in, or is it going to be Choker and Hennigan again?
I expect Will Nightingale to come back in. I think today's a winnable game for us. We've had some hard fixtures, obviously, in a with Portsmouth, Ipswich, and so on. So I expect Will to come straight back into the lineup. Robert kind of hinted that he needs a bit of a rest coming back from his injury, and I think his experience and his a bit of a captain material, back in.
I think he deserves it. I think his turnaround in form is ridiculous. He's been absolutely brilliant in the last few games, and I think his pace could really cause some problems. And we know that Brown scores goals as well. So I think having those two on the flank, I think would just give us
drift across if needed. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is also, because I think it gives him that creative freedom, having security on that left hand side, which we haven't quite had so far this year defensively.
And Rob, I'm going to show my age here. Left-footed players at right back, mixed successes. I can really only think of Dennis Irwin, who was a multiple-time English champion with Manchester United.
Who had the peak of his career before I was born. Just thought I'd raise that.
Thanks. We didn't ask, but thanks. Rob, what? Anyone else? Anyone can't a category? Do you like players playing on the opposite flanks?
You know what? I like left-footed players playing right wing. We've seen some successes with that with an Ian Robben, for example, and there's a few others.
Yeah, but he played for Chelsea. So.
Yeah. So, but there's not many examples of a left-footed right back, and I've not seen it recently. But I do think Osu does do a good job there. I think he deserves to keep his place there. I don't know. I think sometimes the fans make a bit of a bigger issue than it is. Of him. He can still. It gives him two options: cut inside.
So Rob Tuvey, did you speak to Rob Tuvey earlier?
Yes.
Yes. So Rob Tuvey spoke to George earlier with the team news for today, and let's play it now.
That's going to be hairy. Stuart, we good?
Yeah, we're good. Recording. Yeah.
Okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Okay. We're joined now by AFC Wimbledon's assistant head coach, Rob Tuvey. Rob, I believe you've got the team news for us.
Yeah, welcome to the game today, everyone. In goal today will be Nick Zanev. Right back will be Paul Sue. The two centre halves will be Ben Hennigan and Will Nightingale. Lee Brown will come in at left back to make his debut. Luke McCormick and George Marsh will be your holding two. Ethan Chislett will play just ahead of them. I Basal and Jack Rudoni will be out wide, and Terry Ablade will be making his first start for us this afternoon. On the bench today will be Zach Ulia, Dan Shocker, Anthony Hartigan, Shay Alexander, Thomas, Dapo Mabude and Aaron Cosgrave. That will be the starting lineup today.
Rob, obviously big game for the Dons today. Terry Ablade trusted with his first start here at Plough Lane. How much are we looking forward to seeing what he can produce after what's been some very exciting performances at the training ground?
Yeah, no, he's done really well. I think in the short time that he's got on the pitch so far, he's done everything that we've asked him. He's a threat in behind. You can see that he's got a great leap on him. Has got a little bit of an aerial presence as well, which will be key for us today. And
Shocker. Terry Ablade is starting up front instead of Aaron Cosgrave. And Lee Brown does indeed have his first start with us at left back. Rob, I think we pretty much called that actually beforehand. Osu right back,
yep.
Brown left back, and otherwise Ethan Chislett is going to play, we think, in the hole in front of Luke McCormick and George Marsh as the two holding midfielders.
Yep.
Initial thoughts?
I think it's probably our strongest lineup today, given the players we have available. I'm excited by Lee Brown coming in at left back. He's obviously got that experience. He's a bit of a captain, and I thought Ethan Chislett as well had a really good game on Tuesday night. He seemed to run himself into the ground. I wasn't sure if he had to come off injured or via expulsion. And I'm also excited to see this, full him. He had a fantastic chance on Tuesday night. He had a 1-on-1, which probably if he had a few more minutes on the pitch, if he was only on pitch for what felt like 2 minutes until it fell to him. So yeah, I'm excited today, and I think those are the right changes for today.
Matt, what do you think of Ablade starting? How does our game sort of change then? If we think we're going to go the 4-2-3-1, whereas on Tuesday night, it was more we started more with a 4-2-2-2.
Yeah.
So if we can think that Blade's going to be up top on himself, we still have to sort of adjust what we do as to how we'd have played with Ollie Palmer. Is it what we're looking to get his pace in behind? Is that the key with him?
I think it will be. I think we'll look to I think he'll play on the last defender. We'll look to possibly break between the lines. The interesting one for me, I think, is Chislett. And I think he deserves his place. He probably had his best game for us on Tuesday night. I thought he was everywhere. And I think it'll be interesting because from what I could see, he was interchanging with Macca and a little bit George Marshall in that midfield area. And I think we'll look to go down or play between the lines, possibly even a bit more wing play. And I think Terry up front